What you just heard is why I haven't slept properly in weeks. It's the sound that just echoes in my head over and over. It's the reason I now have to believe my house is haunted. But for you to really get the weight of that one little word, for you to feel that chill that I'm feeling right now just watching this again, I have to take you back to how this all began. It all started with a feeling. You know the one. That sense that you're being watched, even when you know you're alone. The silence in your house gets heavy. I've lived here for 5 years, and for most of that time this place was my sanctuary, my safe space. But a few months ago that just stopped. It was small things at first. I'd get home and a kitchen cabinet would be open, just a crack, when I knew I'd closed it. I'd hear these tiny, forgettable sounds from other rooms, a little scrape, a soft thump. And I told myself it was nothing. The house is settling. It's the wind. My imagination is just running wild after a long day at work. But the feeling didn't go away. It just grew, until it felt like this constant hum of anxiety in my own home. I started to dread nights here, jumping at every single creak the house made. I just wanted my home back. I wanted peace of mind. So I did what I figured anyone would do. I bought security cameras. I put one in the hallway, one covering the living room, and one pointed at the back door. They weren't just for burglars. They were for my sanity. I just wanted to see proof of an empty, quiet house all night, so I could finally tell myself I was just being paranoid. The irony? I got my proof. It just wasn't the proof I was looking for. I'm going to show you the footage, night by night, exactly how I saw it. I want you to see this escalate just like I did. The whole point was to create a log, to document the silence and prove everything was fine. And for the first 2 nights, that's exactly what I got. Nothing. I actually started to feel a little silly, but also relieved. But then on night 3, the camera caught the first sound. Watch this. Clip of a hallway, time-stamped 8:03:22 a.m. A very faint, soft thud is heard, as if something light was dropped in an adjacent room. It's faint, right? You can barely hear it. When I first heard it, I almost just scrolled past it. I figured it was a noise from outside, maybe a neighbor. Security cameras have super-sensitive microphones, especially in the middle of the night, so they can pick up sounds from pretty far away. So that's what I told myself it was. Just a random noise. I logged it and I moved on. A few nights later, night 6, another sound. This one was a little harder to just brush off. This felt different. It was quiet, sure, but it didn't sound like the house settling. It sounded human, like a breath. I must have replayed that clip 30 times. Was it just weird feedback from the mic? I know our brains are wired to find patterns, especially human voices, in random noise. It's a real thing called audio pareidolia, and it's the go-to rational explanation for hearing voices that aren't really there. I clung to that explanation. I told myself my own anxiety was turning static into something spooky. I really, really wanted to believe that. Over the next week, it got a lot harder to rationalize things away. The sounds weren't vague anymore. They started to sound intentional. The real turning point when I went from just being on edge to being genuinely scared was on night 10. Clip of the main hallway. The camera is facing down the hall towards the bedrooms. The timestamp reads 2:31 a.m. The audio picks up the clear, unmistakable sound of 2 slow, deliberate footsteps on the hardwood floor. That hallway is right outside my bedroom door. I was in my bed, asleep. I live completely alone. Every door was locked. When I played that back the next morning, my stomach just dropped. My heart was pounding. I got up and I walked down that same hallway, trying to make the floorboards make that sound. They don't. I checked the camera logs. No doors or windows were opened. There was no reason for that sound. I spent hours Googling technical glitches, wondering if my cameras were somehow picking up a neighbor's baby monitor or something. But the sound was so clean. No static. Just footsteps. In my sealed house. And just when I thought I could maybe find an explanation for the footsteps, 2 nights later, on night 12, this happened. I know what people will say. It's a draft. It's the foundation shifting. And a month ago, I'd have been right there with you. But I've lived in this house for 5 years. That specific door has never done that. It's a heavy door. It clicks when it shuts. After seeing this, I spent a whole afternoon trying to debunk it myself. I opened windows to create a cross breeze, cranked up the AC, turned on every fan I have. I could not get that door to move on its own. It opened as if someone turned the handle just enough to peek out. The footsteps, and now this. A physical object being manipulated. The fear was getting real. I'm showing you this footage completely raw, exactly as my system recorded it. I haven't messed with it at all. So, what do you think so far? Am I just letting my imagination get the best of me? Or is this more than just house noises and glitches? Seriously, let me know in the comments. I'm looking for any theory I haven't thought of yet. I really thought the footsteps and the door were the peak. I thought that was as bad as it was going to get. I was so wrong. What I caught 2 nights ago, on night 15, is the whole reason I'm even making this video. This is the piece of evidence that has completely shattered my skepticism. This is what convinced me, beyond any doubt, that I am not alone in here. The camera is in the living room, same one that caught the sigh. The time was 2:14 a.m. I was on the other side of the house, in my bedroom, and I was wide awake. I remember it clearly because the feeling of being watched was so intense I couldn't sleep. The house was dead silent. No TV, no music, nothing. There was nothing for the microphone to pick up. In the paranormal world, they call something like this an EVP, or electronic voice phenomenon. It's basically a sound or voice that shows up on a recording that you couldn't hear with your own ears at the time. I know there's no scientific proof for EVPs and that they're often just audio artifacts or interference. But I didn't hear this voice out loud that night. The camera did. Its microphone recorded the very thing I've been afraid of. Let's listen to it again. It's not muffled or far away. To me, it sounds like it was whispered right next to the camera. I'm going to play it one last time. I boosted the audio, and I'll put the word I hear on the screen. See if you hear it too. The clip plays a final time, audio amplified with the word leave in large text on the screen. I have listened to this hundreds of times trying to find another explanation. Is it a glitch? Is it interference? To my ears, it sounds like a voice. It sounds like a single, clear, intelligent word. A command. Spoken in my living room while I was trying to feel safe in my own bed. And it felt like it was meant for me. After I heard that, everything felt different. This wasn't about catching strange noises anymore. This felt real. The cameras I bought to feel safe had done the complete opposite. Now, waking up every morning means forcing myself to sit down and review the footage, terrified of what I'm going to find next. I feel like a guest in my own house. And the activity has continued. It's almost like that voice opened a door. Look at this. From the very next night. Now, I know exactly what skeptics say about these. 99% of the time, these orbs are just dust, bugs, or a little bit of moisture reflecting the camera's infrared light. Honestly, if this was the only thing I'd captured, I'd dismiss it instantly. I wouldn't have even saved the file. But when you catch this the night after a voice that I believe is real tells you to leave, it's harder to just brush it off. It feels like it's part of a pattern. And it's the pattern that's so undeniable to me. It started with faint sounds. It moved to footsteps. It escalated to a door opening on its own. And it peaked with what I believe is a direct spoken command. All of this feels like it's building, like something is testing its limits, getting bolder and bolder every night. So I started this whole thing just to get some peace of mind. I wanted my cameras to show me an empty house so I could sleep again. Instead, they've shown me something terrifying. They've revealed that I'm sharing my home with something I can't see, something I don't understand, and something that clearly does not want me here. I've tried to be logical. I've looked for rational explanations for every single clip. Most weird things on security cameras are just normal noises or tech issues. I get that. But putting all of these clips together, the progression of it all, it feels different. It feels personal. And now, I have a question I really can't answer on my own. What would you do? If this was your house, and this was your footage, what's the next step? Do you stay and fight for your home? Do you try to communicate? Or do you just pack a bag and get out? I honestly don't know what to do, so I'm open to any suggestions. I'm going to keep the cameras running. I feel like I have to. I have to know what happens next. I'll keep documenting everything, and I will post any new evidence I find. If you want to follow along with this and see what happens, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss an update. Thanks for watching, and maybe check your own security footage. You never know what you'll find.